The year was 2671. Humanity had scattered across the stars like sparks from a fire, fragile but burning bright. Most colonies thrived under the gaze of distant suns, but some were forgotten. On the barren world of Keelar 5, a colony of 50,000 struggled in silence. Supplies dwindled, and communication with Earth was lost for decades. Yet they endured, tilling alien soil, building shelters from storms that could tear flesh from bone. They called themselves the Rooted. One night, their sky tore open. Vast ships emerged, not human, not friendly. These were the Vadran, an ancient race who claimed dominion over 1,000 worlds. They declared the Rooted trespassers. Their message was simple: abandon this soil or be erased. But the Rooted had no ships to flee, no safe haven to run. They had only the ground beneath their feet and the will to call it home. And for them, surrender was not survival. It was extinction of the spirit. The Vadran descended with cold precision. Their machines burned forests to ash. Their weapons shattered mountain ranges. To them, humans were insects, fragile, fleeting, incapable of defiance. But insects bite. A farmer named Terran led the first strike. With nothing but mining explosives and stolen power cells, he crippled a Vadran harvester that could have annihilated thousands. The explosion lit the sky like dawn, and for the first time, the colony believed resistance was possible. The Vadran responded with fury. They sent hunters, towering soldiers with skin like obsidian, to root out rebels. Families hid in caves, children whispered in the dark, yet every loss carved something harder into the colony's heart. The Rooted were learning the enemy's weakness: arrogance. The Vadran believed humanity had no teeth. They were about to choke on that belief. Months of brutal skirmishes turned into years. The Rooted forged weapons from wreckage, armor from shattered hulls. Farmers became fighters, teachers became tacticians. The forgotten colony became an army. At the heart of it all stood Commander Celine Kale, once a medic, now the unyielding shield of her people. Her voice echoed through hidden tunnels. "We are not trespassers. We are the storm." The final battle came at the Valley of Glass, where the Vadran assembled their war engines to end humanity's spark forever. Thousands of Rooted, armed with little more than courage and ingenuity, stood against an empire. The clash was apocalyptic. Fire painted the sky, mountains collapsed, yet the Vadran, for all their might, faltered before something they could never manufacture: hope. For every human that fell, another rose, screaming defiance. For every weapon lost, they turned debris into blades. The valley became a furnace, and in that fire, humanity's spirit was unbreakable. When the smoke cleared, the Vadran withdrew, not because they lacked power, but because they realized power alone could not crush a people who refused to kneel. Keelar 5 still burned. Its cities were rubble, its fields scorched, its rivers poisoned, but its people remained, scarred, battered, unyielding. They had carved victory with their bare hands. News of their defiance spread beyond the stars. Other colonies heard the story of the Rooted and whispered it as legend. The galaxy had sought to erase them. Instead, it heard their echo. Humanity was not welcome. We were not invited, but we endured. And in enduring, we proved a truth no empire could silence. When humanity rises, the stars themselves tremble.